Anybody see Spider-Man at the New York protests?
No, but that's good.
Dude, my favorite part about all the protesting going on in America is that when the cosplayers show up. Spider-Man, Batman, and Master Chief have been spotted at protests.
Master Chief?
Bro, I'm glad to know Master Chief's anti-racist. I will play Halo now.
Yeah,
We gotta finish this fight.
I will download Halo 3 again.
I think this is one of the hardest boss fights in normal and
Yeah.
like neutral.
I think it is just the hardest one, and
Yeah.
like I don't know, because normal's honestly not that hard.
No,
and
it's
I don't think
not.
that's controversial to say.
I do think this, like musically, this is probably one of the most impressive songs in Undertale.
Yeah,
Because what's so cool about Undertale music is that in several environments, Toby Fox would create the music and then create an environment around it, which is obviously not the norm.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this song is it's actually, like, all of the melodies throughout Undertale can be played, you know, if you're on the piano with 2 hands.
yeah.
But this song actually requires 4 hands because it's a duet.
Wow.
Which,
Oh.
Spider.
Spider.
Yeah. Isn't that really cool?
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, because it's like, it's so complicated, but when Undertale like first came out, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to learn some of these songs on piano. So I learned a few, and I was like, oh, Spider Dance sounds so complicated. And then, like, the more I studied it, I was like, oh, shit, this is a duet. And that's just so cool to me.
Dude, Toby Fox is really talented.
He's a fucking genius. Like, musically, he's a genius. If you, like, want to break down a lot of his music, it's just genuinely phenomenal how he does the things that he does.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm pretty sure the first 3 basic enemies, if you play their tracks together, it makes the main Undertale song, which,
Yeah, it does.
like, I don't know, that's just kind of neat.
yeah.
That's more foresight and creativity than I could have putting into
Yeah.
a game.
If you really want to sound smart when talking about music, you can just throw around the term leitmotif, L-E-I-T, then motif, and all it means is motif through melody. But trust me, any like college class or video essay throws that word around like it's a fucking football. Which is something you throw around.
Fellow
For all the
gamers.
football heads out there.
Gamers. Dude, I hope the NFL has like an actual real season this year.
Speaking of football, you want to talk about 49ers being anti-racist?
For the Niners.
Yeah.
The Niners.
What? What am I talking about? I don't know much football. Who is Kaepernick on?
Oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they make a statement?
Yeah, they said they're anti-racist.
Well, that the Niners letting go of Kaepernick, I don't think was directly tied to his protesting, but all 32 teams they blackballed him. None of the teams signed him. Where he, for all of you people who don't follow football, Colin Kaepernick led a not great San Francisco 49ers team to a Super Bowl, which they lost to the Ravens. So they got there, but they didn't win.
Still a feat.
So yeah, so he was a quarterback on a team that went to the Super Bowl. Whether exactly how good he was, is up for debate. But he's definitely good enough. If you lead a team to a Super Bowl, you at least deserve a roster spot as like a backup somewhere. But every single team owner blackballed him because they didn't want to be associated with that because of all the bad press.
Well, that was before standing up against racism was cool, though.
This was in 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, then.
Yeah, this was in 2000. It was big in 2017. I think continued into 2018, and then eventually the NFL combated that by no longer showing the national anthem. Oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick, like, he started the movement of kneeling at the national anthem.
Yeah.
That's the guy. In case you've been living under a rock.
Yeah, so I just thought it was funny that them of all teams came out and said they were against it. And I think Redskins coming out against racism is really funny.
Yeah.
That sounds like an Onion article, you know?
Yeah. The Washington Redskins. I
I'm so
can't.
glad they're not racist.
Kate and I were talking about that the other day. Like, how much longer did the Redskins got before?
Dude, they've made it this far. They've already gotten in trouble.
People have been yelling at them for several decades to change
that's
it.
not a new thing.
I'm pretty sure John Oliver made it like an entire Last Week Tonight about them specifically.
Yeah,
there's South Park episodes about them.
First of all, their program is sad, and secondly, they've fought legal battle after legal battle to maintain the rights to their mascot. One of the teams I played in basketball, which I think it's still their mascot. I'm from a super small town in Oklahoma, and we played Wynnewood in basketball, and they were the Wynnewood Savages.
What was their mascot?
It was the Washington Redskins mascot. It was
Gotcha.
It was an Indian man or a Native American man, whatever you want to call it.
We're like from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
so also I didn't realize that the bar changes right here.
Yeah, look
Oh.
at that.
Undertale the musical.
Oh, that's neat.
This is a Final Fantasy parody, everybody. It's a Final Fantasy parody.
How many?
Yeah.
6, pretty sure.
Cool.
Pretty sure. And Wynnewood got put on the map recently in Tiger King.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
That's
true.
where the Wynnewood Zoo's at by Mr. Joe Exotic himself.
So
That was crazy to me how I've been to that zoo. That zoo was incredibly close to where I grew up.
yeah,
Like
I was
15
about
miles
to
away.
ask, because all of my friends from like other states have messaged me when that came out. They're like, "Bro, you know about Joe Exotic?" Like everyone came out of the woodwork to ask me about
Yeah.
that.
And
Did
I
you
say-
experience that?
No, I didn't get approached directly
Yeah.
necessarily, but yeah, I've been kind of like clowning on Joe Exotic for years now.
Yeah.
I used to have Joe Exotic 2016 in my Tinder bio because he was running for president, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy that he's like in prison now. How
Yeah. I mean, no, not really.
How might he fall in?
that really played out, didn't it? Yeah, no, I've been to that. I've been to that zoo, which like no longer exists, right? They moved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was unrelated, but I was talking to Theo earlier, and we were just talking about like our AP classes in high school and whatnot. And I got to the topic of my AP Gov teacher, who it was like the year before he retired, so he really didn't give a shit. AP Gov he made us debate against each other.
Oh, nice.
Like, because he wanted us to have opinions, but not like, oh, my parents are conservative, this is my opinion.
Right.
Like, I thought I was very conservative because my parents were. And, like, he gave you a whole pamphlet of opinions, and you had to mark which one you resonated with, but it was unclear which one was liberal and which one was conservative. Which, cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he wouldn't tell us, even while we were debating. He would just say, which side do you, stand on? And then, I do think it's really funny that they brought this back, right?
Yeah. If you remember all the rules from,
Yeah.
You can solve this.
you can.
Yeah, no, there is an actual route.
Of course there is.
There's a lot of backtracking on it, surprisingly, you know? Like,
You're locked. No.
Yeah. That's really cool that you can pass that. But yeah, so in my AP Gov class, he just made us like pick, and then we would fill out this entire pamphlet, and he was like, all right, so who voted on A for abortion, stand on this side. Those who voted for B on abortion, stand on this side. And then he'd be like, why do you pick this? And
Yeah.
he'd ask us, and then he would pick someone else, and he'd be like, argue.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, he did not give a shit. And
I would love.
No, you would love that.
I would love to be in that situation.
I know you would. So there was a
lot of people are probably like really scared of situations like that. I live for that.
Major and I had that class together, and Major and I essentially pulled chairs up on the liberal side without knowing. And there was one girl who was very religious named make up a name for me.
Bethany.
Bethany. Sure,
Bertrude.
I like Bethany. I can pronounce that.
That was the first religious girl that popped in my mind. Her name is Bethany. But continue.
And then Bethany was, very religious, obviously on the conservative side, and she just contested Major constantly because Major was just wanting to fight, and she said. So the topic was like racism, and she was saying like, I don't really feel like we experience that a lot in our society. And Major goes, yeah, maybe you don't. And then she said, well, in the Bible. And it was like, in the Bible? And she was
I don't think that applies to today
yeah,
necessarily.
she was like, well, everyone's treated equal in God's eyes. And he goes, okay, but not government officials' eyes. and then my teacher was fucking loving it because Major was going off. And then we got on the topic of church and state, and you can imagine how that went. And then I don't know why she brought this up, but Major just hated her, and she talked about how church and state, you know, she was like, you know, it's so bad because, like, just because you're in the government doesn't, or, you know, whatever. Like, just talking about how the government shouldn't, like, segregate religion.
Yeah.
And
They're
then,
people,
I feel
they're
so
religious.
attacked.
yeah, and then she was like, trust me, I know. My mom worked for the government and lost her job during the shutdown. And then Major goes, well, she should have gotten a better job then. And then she was just pissed. And then after that, Major trashed her beliefs a little more.
Dude,
And then hold up. She went on Twitter to complain. She subtweeted Major and was like, I guess that with the separation of church and state, you're just allowed to bash other people's religion in classrooms, huh? And then Major made a Twitter account for the first time to respond to her and say, stay mad.
Got owned so hard. That is like my least favorite, like, not talking point that I think exists. Get a better job or move somewhere else.
Yeah.
I say
Major just said that to piss her off.
yeah, right. Well, I mean, that's like the parody, right? Just
Yeah.
get a better job. Especially like, if you don't like America, you can get out.
Yeah, like, can I?
I was like, okay, yeah, let me use the money that this bad country has afforded me to up
Yeah.
and move.
It's like, getting another job, is it just like, I'm going to apply and get it?
Yeah,
and
dude.
Start it immediately with no loss of time?
Go to the prohibitively expensive university first. Whenever I went to college, I worked full time making minimum wage, and I got by. I was like,
I got 50 cents an hour, and it was 1950.
yeah. Whenever housing was 10 times cheaper and university was 10 times cheaper,
Bought my car for $20. I earned that.
fixed her up.
Yeah, so my good friend Johnny, his dad, kind of an asshole. And, but like it, you know.
Yeah.
You know how they are.
Guys being guys.
Yeah,
Or
and-
they're just like not tactful because they're old.
Yeah. Actually, really badass, completely unrelated. That he told. Actually, no, I'm not gonna tell the story. Anyways, next story. He, like, when Johnny was in high school, he had a job and he had like a C in chemistry, and his dad was like, "Johnny, why do you have a C in chemistry?" And he's like, "Well, because I'm working full time. It's hard." And he goes, "No, it's not." He's like, "It's not hard." And he was like, "Yes, yeah, it is. You don't understand how hard things are." So he worked full time at UPS. So then his dad went. He was in the army, so he had like free money to go to college classes.
Yeah.
So he went and enrolled in Chemistry 1 and got an A in it, and then rubbed it in Johnny's face that he did that. And then fast forward 15 years later, he went to enroll in college again because he had that grant, but apparently that grant is only active for 5 years after you initially activate it.
Oh.
So because he tried to rub it in Johnny's face, he fucked him out of like $50,000 in tuition.
Oh.
Wait, you
Yikes.
fucked Johnny out, or
No, he fucked himself out.
Okay. I think
but
it somehow
he
fucked
did
Johnny
it
out.
to like rub it in Johnny's face.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think probably Johnny could have used that because I know families can use it because Theo's dad was in the army, and like she got free college through his grant.
Yeah.
Or-
I will say, one college class is not equal to having to do like 7 high school classes.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
Dude,
it was funny. It was an asshole funny thing.
Yeah.
Dude, last semester, I sat through an algebra class one day. Like, my teacher was like, oh, just like, observe this teacher. Just see how she does. It was like that teacher that, like, everyone hated, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go in here.
Yeah.
I could not, like, my head was killing me after just, like, hearing basic college or, like, high school algebra for, like, 50 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And then I had to go teach, like, some Shakespeare shit or something. I don't even know. But, so I'm gonna say that, in college, whenever you have one class, you're there for 4 hours throughout the entire week.
Yeah.
And that's a lot less than 35 hours in a high
Like,
school.
I think your first semester of college is like holy shit, this is easy.
Yeah,
I can do whatever I want. I have so much time.
and then you have C's like 3 weeks for this semester, and it's like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I stacked my schedule, so my entire day was Tuesday, Thursday. So I just went there for like 12 hours Tuesday and Thursday, which was like a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was like, dude, that's 5 days to do nothing else.
I always tried to load my schedule up on Tuesday, Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the time off.
Because like you could do whatever you want. You had a 5-day weekend.
Yeah, that's how many games of League can I squeeze into a 5-day weekend? Yeah, no. My grades in college essentially directly reflected how much of a shit I gave about the class.
Yeah. Like I always feel like I'm a generally like unattentive person. And then I kind of like look at my grades and I'm like, damn, I was kind of good at school. I just kind of forget, you know, because all through like high school I had like a, I don't know what I have. I had like a 3. I think I had a.
Don't die.
Yeah. Oh wow, I don't.
Hot dog.
Yeah. I had like a 3.2, 3.3 by the end of high school, but that's because I was a shitter in freshman, sophomore year and just didn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I think I had like a 3.5 junior year and then like a 3.8 senior year, but it just averaged out to
Yeah.
be bad. And then in college, I think I got an A in every class except 2, and 1 because it was psychology, and which isn't like hard. But it just felt like such a high school environment because they were like jocks and like the cheerleaders.
Yeah,
in that
it's
class.
Yeah, there's
it's a
usually high
gen ed
schoolers in
class.
the psychology class.
Yeah,
usually.
it was a gen ed, but the problem was like the professor like entertained them like it was a high school classroom. You know, they just like,
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'm paying money for this. So I just stopped showing up to class and only showed up for the tests. And I got a B in that class, which not bad for not showing up to the class. But every time I showed up, there were always people who were like, oh, you're still in this class? I got that every single
Dude, one of my it was my senior year, I think my first semester of college.
Yeah.
I had it was my very last gen ed, and it was like intro like American history or something. So like I'm essentially graduated. I'm so far removed from this bullshit gen ed stuff that I don't care about and also have already learned.
Yeah.
So we had my only class on Friday, which I had to park nearby at the OU basketball stadium, the Lloyd Noble Center, and then take a bus to campus because there's no parking because it's miserable. And it's like for one class that's for 50 minutes, it's like a 2-hour, 3-hour process.
Yeah.
So I just didn't show up, and this class there was an attendance grade. And
was this the class you needed to pass to graduate?
it was not. I mean, I did need the class to
Gotcha.
need
But
to pass it.
Not the class where you barely.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I got the attendance was 5% of your grade, and I looked at it, and I looked at like how easy the material was because it's intro American history, and I said, nah, I don't need this 5% of my grade. So
Yeah.
I think I got a 20% on my attendance for that portion.
What did you finish the class with?
I think I got like a 75 or something. So I would have gotten a B if I
Cared.
yeah. Yeah, and also I just didn't give a shit about the class. Like didn't do half the homework.
I do agree with you that my grades were proportional to how much I cared.
Yeah, it's like I get the degree or I don't, and I already had at the time I had like a 3.6 GPA. So I'm like, if I get a C, I already have so many credit hours that this is not going to influence my GPA that much.
That's the
Yeah.
nice thing about late college.
Yeah, so I phoned in my
Late
last
game
couple of
college.
semesters.
Dude, late game college meta, you can kind of stop giving a shit.
Yeah, my favorite thing is running the math to see how hard you have to study for your final.
Yeah.
For my Spanish 3 final, I was like,
You took Spanish?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I know a good amount of Spanish.
No,
Like, I can
you
look at-
said like Spanish things to me in the past. I just never put that together.
I mean, yeah, for a lot of universities, foreign language is a requirement.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying I just never knew.
whatever, like, I don't know, 13 credit hours of Spanish will teach you, and
Yeah.
5 years ago, that's about how much Spanish I know.
Gotcha.
But I had like an 89 in the class, and I needed to make like a 98 on the final to up that to an A with how the class was made. And I was like, that's not happening. What do I need for a B?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I need like a 13 for a B. Sick. I did like.
Yeah, you don't need to study.
I didn't study for it. I didn't do the essay portion at the end, which was worth like a third of the grade, and I turned it in. I was like, man, I need like I could definitely squeak out a 13.
That happened to me in my chemistry final because there was like an essay portion on it, and I realized that I think I did get a B in that class because to get an A was probably very high, so I just said, fuck it, I know I'm not failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel bad for all the college students who were forced to and will be forced to take online classes instead of actually being able to attend.
Yeah.
For Gen Eds, I like taking online classes
Yeah.
more just because...
I took a good amount of
cares?
online classes for bullshit that I didn't care about, like any like women and gender study class. I tried to take online for.
I took online poetry as an elective.
Nice.
And it was so funny because, like, I just forgot I was enrolled in that. And then, like, 3 weeks in, like 3 weeks before the semester was up, I messaged the professor and I was like, look, I know I haven't done any of the work, but I've just been struggling with a lot, you know?
Yeah, just say you've had family stuff going on.
Yeah, that's why I say people never question it. And he's like, oh, I get it. Life is hard. You give me like a very poetic response for faculty email.
I mean, honestly, man, it's a poetry class. He probably forgot that he had the class too.
Yeah, so I just went through it, and it was so funny because my poetry was such bullshit because I did do like the first 6 weeks of it, you know?
Yeah.
Or a few weeks, I don't know. But I created a character because there was like peer review. So he said like I can't get the peer review points, but it was like 5%.
Yeah.
And oh god.
Yeah,
I mean, those
you
classes
can
are made
spare
like
two
that
of
because
them
they expect
also.
people to not actually do it.
Two of them are available to be spared
Oh, I should have.
at
Yeah.
current. Make it way easier on yourself.
Yeah.
Going and completing a college degree really taught me that college is a joke.
Yeah.
There were so
It's
many.
literally just doing
There's
it.
so many joke courses that I got. Like, it's a credit, and it went towards my grade, and I could just pick whatever I want to do.
But you're not going to use it in your field at all.
Yeah, like I took like Native American music, and I took this like I needed like a music credit,
Yeah.
and I was like, what do I need a music credit for? I'm in a STEM field. So I took Native American music in the summer, and we showed up to class. There were no
Where
desks.
the fuck do I go, Dylan?
Traverse the north. I don't know.
I
Dude.
go to the right. I think that you
There's
said-
like an elevator somewhere
Just
that you have
said
to
northern
take.
room.
Then go.
And the
north.
end will open. Oh, well, I went up and touched the button.
Yeah.
So the end will open, but where is the end?
You take the elevator.
Where's the elevator?
The far right.
Oh no. A lot of my stupid bullshit courses were all like, it was just different types of reading. It was like, all right, reading from the 1800s now, American 1800s, European 1900s now.
Dude,
It's just that.
I took like American history at my local community college, and this sounds like a bullshit and his name Albert Einstein joke, right? But it just doesn't sound real because I was just doing my shit, and I had like a table, like a group. It was all like group work. It was such a
The
blowout
worst.
class. Yeah, it sucks for someone like me who is willing to do all of it because I just want it to be done. And so like my whole table just let me do all of it, and then like my professor like figured that out. And one day in class, he pulled me aside to apologize to me about how easy the material was, and he wishes that this class could challenge me intellectually. And I was just like, what? I don't do anything. I cliff note all of this shit. Like, it was so surprising to me that he thought I was like this prodigy student who wasn't prone to drop out in less than a year.
I took some classes that were like online. That I think I took like women in sports or something.
Yeah.
and it just talked about like let's get women in sports. I thought it was gonna be more like science based, but it was more like women and gender studies based.
Yeah.
Where it was just talking about like figures of the community and stuff like that, more so than it was talking about actually like the mechanics behind it and what makes it different and
Yeah.
what makes men able to perform better than women in a lot of like the most physical aspects, right? Yeah, there you go.
Oh god, I forgot how this works.
Yeah, it turns it off, Ron.
Yeah.
In
Should I
that
fight, or should I just spare? What's faster?
don't you have shit weapons still enabled?
Yeah,
so it's probably
sure do.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if you have shitty weapons on, it's probably faster to spare. Whoa, careful.
But so women in sports.
Yeah, the entire class I just had to I would have to do a little bit of reading and then like talk about it on a forum, and that was my
Yeah.
entire grade.
Yeah.
And it was like I think I got like a 100 in the class, and I was like, okay, thanks for the 3 credit hours.
Dude, there's one class I took. It was a
Yeah, just first death. There it is.
Nice. But it was the same professor. I took him for 4 of the different classes, like, because again, it was just like the war writing now. But each one was formatted the exact same way. It was 4 weeks. It's supposed to be a semester long class, but he would just do it in 4 weeks. He'd be like, all right, week 1, read 3 stories and make part 1 of a Prezi. Because he's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to use PowerPoint because that's boring.
I forgot about
So we're gonna
Prezi.
use
Yeah, Prezi, it's
Yeah.
like PowerPoint but online.
Yeah, he gave us the option of either doing Prezi or building a website and then writing essays through that. I just, did Prezi. And I would just like copy and paste my Prezi for each class because it was pretty much a lot of the stories overlapped and he used like the same 12-story bank. And so I got I don't know. It's kind of a joke,
Yeah, no.
but you need that piece of paper, honestly, sometimes.
Yeah, it's a joke. I honestly feel like it's set up just to get you to spend more money.
Yeah.
Right, like-
why do you need to take all those classes?
Yeah, they say it's because it's to build a broad. It's to build a broad reach of knowledge. It's like, no, I want to go into this field, so I
took
want to
algebra
take these classes.
And calculus, and I was like, okay, to be fair, I actually was a chem major at the time. I take it back.
I never changed my major. That's
Yeah.
another important thing.
I
is that-
did. I changed it
I changed
3
it a lot.
times and then dropped out.
See, I remember going on to the doing your math before you take your final. Whenever I was speech pathology for a little bit, which hard as shit.
Yeah.
But I decided I was swapping out speech pathology and going into education. I was like, yeah, fuck this. But I still had to do one final, and I figured out I just needed to get a C in the class to be fine.
yeah.
And in order to get, actually just to get a B in the class, I can make a 7 on the final. And the final itself, all of my classmates spent 2 weeks studying for it because speech pathology is really stupid hard.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a lot of science, a lot of biology, and then a bunch of phonetics after. But I went with them to hang out and I hung out with them as they all studied for it, but I answered 3 questions on a 100-question final because I realized I found the 3 that I knew, and that was it. And
Nice.
I either got exactly a 70 or exactly an 80 in the class. I don't know which. But no, a lot of colleges just, well, how can we make you give us money this time? Algebra. There's college algebra after you do high school algebra, which isn't really that different.
Yeah, I got a B and a C. This was freshman years to really tell you how my mindset didn't change. I had to take 2 math credits, so I was like, I'm just gonna do the easiest ones. I'm pretty sure I tested into Calc 2 or something, and I was like,
Same. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do college algebra and trig. So I did, which again, college is a joke. I did that, and I got a B and a C because I didn't show up to class. And whenever I was in class, I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
I remember I would just, to pass the time, I would just write Kanye lyrics in my notebook.
Yeah.
rather than taking notes.
That's something.
Yeah.
It's better than what you have to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the most bullshit thing I had to do. It's so crazy for me to think that, like, I am actually, like, 10 hours away from graduating. I just changed my major a lot. Like, I could just do something about that, but I don't need it at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't used mine at all since I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the fridge in there.
So it's just funny to me, like, how close I actually am to graduating, and I just don't. I don't. Because I was a film major, then I was, like, I just had, like, this Yep, invincibility frames on that last one. What did I do? I was a film major, that was my first time, my first degree. Then I went to chemistry, and I stayed in chemistry for a while, that was my longest. And then I tried a semester of business just to get a degree.
Yeah.
And then I said, I dropped out of most of those classes just because that's when Alpharat stuff really started picking up. Because I dropped out of chemistry to focus on Alpharat stuff, actually, because that was like, I had 30K subscribers, and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to see how far this can go. I didn't drop out until I had like 200 something subs, though, when I was like making my living off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just like I did it on a whim.
Like, at that point, though, it was more worth for you to invest your time into that.
Yeah, because at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna invest some time, see what happens. You know?
Yeah.
Because what if I could make a living out of this? Sure enough, I did. But it was a gamble at the time. But my mindset was, well, if it doesn't go well, I'll just go back to college. You know? Not a huge loss. Just yeah. So my mom was not proud because
The American dream.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff like that. But
You're supposed to go to college in 4 years and then be a doctor, and I'll be so proud of you. This is the life I had envisioned for you.
Ooh, yeah. My dad really wanted me to be a lawyer for oil companies.
yeah.
My parents didn't give a shit. They just wanted me to go to college.
My dad really wanted me to make money, so he always wanted me to become an oil lawyer, and then I told him I'm going to be a teacher.
Yeah, I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger too, and I want to be a teacher. I want to do like the thing was I was always so involved in arts, whether it be music or photography or film or something. Like it was always something, and like my mom was always like, "You could be a doctor," and that's kind of why I was in chemistry, because I was like, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just know I'm gonna do something that'll make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it like I was good at it. I just didn't have any heart in it.
Yeah.
I thought chemistry was fun though, because it gave you answers just in like stuff you just wonder to yourself on a daily basis. Like,
Yeah.
how does pencil lead work on paper? You know, like stuff like that.
It was like that for my degree a lot. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
exercise stuff. It's like you know that if you go to the gym and you lift weights, your muscles will get bigger. But the actually what happens and why that is.
Yeah. And then, like, what's really cool about chemistry is how that's used in, like, forensics. Like, I think that probably, if I stayed in chemistry, that probably would have been what I would have ended up in, because I just think it's a super interesting field. Because you have to, like, analyze a crime scene and, like, chemically solve why this is. Because I remember one experiment I had to do in class was they gave us 7 markers that were signed on, like, a note from a killer or something like that. And you had to time it with this is a list of people who were at this location between these time frames, and you had to date the markers and see when they were written. So
Wow.
I don't remember the science of it because that was years and years ago, but I still thought that was a cool experiment.
Is that some Half-Life stuff?
What?
Half-Life,
I never played Half-Life.
not the video game. The science term Half-Life.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I don't know if this is Half-Life. No.
Yeah, no, not.
I've never really heard that term in that, so I wouldn't know.
A half-life of something is how long it takes for like half of I don't know the half of like the
gotcha.
compounds to stick around or something.
Gotcha. I mean, they might have
It's
used
how
like-
you date like super old.
Yeah, I mean, they might just use a different term, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. Again, years and years ago.
It might not have anything to do with it. That might be stuff that's too old. Because
Yeah.
it's how you date like super ancient like rocks and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
fossils.
We did it. And we are mashing through dialogue.
10,000 ratings.
Like, it's
alright.
fucking 2020. You guys have played Undertale. Come on.
I don't think anyone's gonna be complaining about us skipping through dialogue.
Oh, someone will.
Okay.
They're getting blocked.
Yeah, no, comments already. The replies are already making fun of that person, though.
Yeah.
It's already gurs and whatevers at them.
I love how toxic our fan base is, but in like a healthy way.
They're very toxic
Healthy
to the dumb.
toxicity.
It is the
dumb
healthy toxicity
commenters.
because they all know they're in on the bit.
Yeah.
We have this very reoccurring bit where if someone is mean in the comments, the other people just respond and go grr or whatever or thanks for sharing. Those are the three options they're allowed to say.
Thanks for sharing.
Where we got that one from was we were playing Barbie Puppy Rescue 2015 for the Xbox 360. And every now and then, I assume there was like a call to action for this, but Barbie will just randomly get a text message on her phone from a real ass dog, like a picture of a dog, and you just have to assume like someone sent in their picture of a dog.
It's the company's dogs.
Yeah, it felt something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And Barbie has pre-made sayings she can respond, and thanks for sharing was the first one she did, and that just stuck around. It was from such a throwaway video where I'm sure more people are on the bit than people who watch the video.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing is a good one. So I feel so fucking played when like I'll respond to a comment like on Twitter, and then that person responds and goes, "Thanks for sharing," and I'm just like, God, they fucking boomed me.
I've been boomed.
But thanks for sharing is a really good one because I don't feel like I can ever get mad at these like YouTube comments when I have like an army of whatevers backing me up. You know, I feel invincible in that moment.
I don't think they're really backing us up as much as they just go through there looking for somebody that they can just like
Yeah.
get. It's like, all right, what's the once? Even if they're like, there's no mean comments. It's like, what's the most controversial comment out of like?
Do we just finish Asgore in this episode?
You could. I don't
How
know.
long is it gonna take?
It depends how good of a gamer you are.
Oh shit! See you next episode.